Hi there, it's Denise Eckert, and I love coming on here and sharing different ideas and techniques to help you create a happier lifestyle for yourself. And today I've got Aude Firmin, and she's an internationally recognized intuitive business coach, spiritual life coach, Reiki master, and psychic medium, whose work brings together two parts of her life that she once felt difficult to reconcile: the corporate world of strategy, leadership, and growth, and the intuitive world where she centers around her childhood. Welcome, Aude.
Welcome. Thank you so much for having me on your show today.
Now, what inspired you to do this type of work?
It's like this a personal journey that's where everyone is led on a journey. And I've always been like very sensitive to energies, and we are all psychic, and that's what also I try to send as a message to the world. And I got a psychic awakening in 2014, so having lots of spiritual activities in my bedroom in Elephant and Castle. I thought I had completely lost it this time. But then I trained as a psychic medium and I saw that actually it is an amazing world to navigate with. And we can use these tools very practical in our personal, spiritual, and business life.
And now, how do we do that? So, being a business owner, and yeah, I came from corporate as well. So, you're into the budget, the reports, the this, the that, everything needed to fit into a box. How do you make that switch? And do you find that like that making that switch makes us happier?
Good questions. I resisted. I was successful technically in corporate, but I didn't feel I was fitting in. I was a bit like the weirdo. And but yeah, connecting at human level, at heart level, and I was like, heal the world, Michael Jackson, we can do it in another way. And also energetically, I was impacted by the stress. So I had to take care of my energy, and that's how Reiki, this energy healing came into my life. And I guess it was organically. So I kept having some kind of direction, so challenges and direction towards being creating a new style of leadership, taking care of my energy, and also learning to trust my intuition. And then I saw that actually people, for example, in the corporate world, were all really desperate of expressing their identity, of being more human, but they didn't feel they could allow themselves to do this because of the element of safety and trust and performance and image. And so that's how ultimately my soul couldn't take it anymore. And I created this business. And since then, of course, it's an evolution, but it's been such a beautiful journey.
And I can relate so much because I was the same. I didn't fit in. Like one of the positions I had, it was so corporate. I didn't even fit in because I was single. Wasn't
Yeah.
married with children. And oh, it was just, I hated it. That's all I can say is I hated it. Now you talk about taking care of our energy. How can we do that? And what
Yeah.
do
So
you
like
mean by energy?
absolutely. So, for example, today I have a cold. And I told myself after this podcast recording, I'm like closing the business. We are all made of energy. It's not like who is like quantum physics shows it. And we can keep pushing as we've been trained slash brainwashed in the corporate world and modern world. We can see that by allowing that we are not linear beings, especially as women, and by going through the flow, even if it means resting, then we create better, we create more aligned. And so learning how to rest, learning to be more in sync with our energy and doing some energy work like Reiki or anything that makes us rejuvenating like nature will pay off at the end. But it for me, it really required this journey of trusting the bigger picture, trusting that, okay, if I rest, I'm not going to be punished for this. I'm not going to lose opportunities. And actually, I'm going to help people see energetically and consciously that we are able to attract, magnetize more people through this. So it's, yeah, sorry, it's not very linear what I'm saying. But yes, like this journey of resting, this journey of trusting our energy as a signal, especially as a business owner, because we are the only one on the boat, was really a good journey for me.
And that's hard too, because I know for myself being self-employed, I don't
Yeah,
know, I like
it's
taking
hard.
afternoons off and then I get a burst of energy and then I go and do something else. It's fun. I enjoy working like that rather than having a set time to do certain things. and I am so much more productive.
Yeah.
So, for someone that's listening to this, what are some of the steps that they can start to do to turn things around if they feel like they're just too, I don't know, what would you even call it? Too in a box? They're too
Yeah,
restricted?
yeah. So this feeling of being compressed or suffocated, it's your soul. And my audience or people listening don't need to be spiritual. So if I can use the word soul or I can use the word intuition, whatever fits them, who cares? That's the same thing. So it's like your soul telling you, look, something is not aligned with you. And when I saw in my life and the life of my clients like the repetitive cycles again and again, this is a message. This is a message. We will go inside, release or integrate these parts of you who are like crying for you to be seen. So that's why for me, I saw it is so powerful to have the talking work, but also the parts, the energetic work, the intuitive work, the spiritual, the business. It's all related. How we show up in our business, how we show up in our life, how we show up with others is all connected. So at some point, I guess for my personal journey, I just saw that using logic, pushing, and just performance was killing me inside. And I couldn't find leaders that were inspiring me. I couldn't find people authentic, and I don't want that. I don't want that. And I don't know where it's going to lead me, but I want the intention of trying to connect with these beautiful people, these weirdos, these light workers, these change makers who feel outcast for good reasons because they're going to change the world. And it takes a lot of courage actually to be like, I'm choosing another way.
I love that because, yeah, when you are stuck in that box, it is very difficult to get out of that box because
Yeah,
you're always worried about, number one, job security,
of course. Yeah.
especially if you're working for someone else. And it takes a long time. Like I know for myself, it took me a long time to get out of that scheduling, that I don't know. Is it a male energy? Is that what it is?
I think even men are like the victim of this system
Yeah.
because I've just finished writing my book and I saw that shamanism and all this energy and conscious was much more accepted before. So it's on after the industrial revolution and Ford and human beings are tools that they squished people into role and performance. But yeah, of course there is patriarchal and etc. But men are victims too. And so that's why also I love working with men because they are like they are direct victim of this system. People want to reconnect to their purpose, to be seen, to be accepted, not just to perform. And yes, that's interesting. You talk about job security. I think the good thing about AI, and I'm not a pro AI, is it shows the reality that it's not like the big companies, it's not necessarily the job stability. So when my clients are like, oh, yeah, but I'm afraid of following my purpose, it's like actually creating your own company is actually safer because you take care of your own destiny. And of course, it is scary, but what I see from a spiritual perspective, not in a hoo-hoo way, when you want to do something good, when you follow the road, you will receive the synchronicities, the support. We can't explain. So again, people will say the universe, but it is true. So it requires a level of trust that comes with experience. And we can't just rely on logic on this one.
And now, how do we build that trust within ourselves? Are there any practices that we can use?
Yeah, I think it helps to see people like you, Denise, or I, who've been able to do it. So it kind of shifts the energy straight away of people of being like, okay, they're not crazy. They are like having a good life or the life they want. And of course, we can always have more, but they are content with their life. So there is this ability to, it opens a window of, oh, okay, something's new. Something is possible. This is a possibility. And then to face these fears, but from an experiential and intuitive perspective. So that's what I do in sessions, so that they see that it's not their fear often. It's the fear of society, the fear of the parents. And once they are able to see that, it's somehow it dissolves more and more. So again, this is this entanglement. And it's a bit like when you start seeing the light, you can't close your eyes anymore. So it doesn't mean the fear disappear completely, but it's like it becomes more and more manageable and you keep going because there is this force taking you anyway. I'm not saying it's easy, but we all need to go through this process of facing fears and experiencing it to go to the other side.
Now, can we talk a little bit about the fears? Because that's a big part of this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how do you define the fears that we have that stop us from doing things and it actually causes stress in our lives?
Yeah. So I used to be super fearful, and I can be as well. But I feel, again, what helped me face my fear was to see that my purpose, like for example, a coach, a guide, or whatever you want to define it, was not personal. I'm just a channel. I'm just a channel of bringing more love and more peace. And yes, it looks very 70s hoo-hoo, but still, we all have this, that we are yoga teacher. And so for me, fears were more like seeing that the emotion is scarier than the reality. For example, when I launched as a psychic medium after being at big companies like Gucci, like crazy stuff when you think about it, I was afraid of being judged. My family was like, no, don't do that. You're going to be attacked. But then I saw how much it helped people. And that's why I was talking about the light. When you see it, then the light take over the darkness. And you're like, okay, even if they judge me, I helped this person today. And I wish I was this person in the past, that there was this person for me. So that's the beacon of light, the inspiration. And the more we walk the path, the more we see that actually people are not really, of course, people are judgmental, but they're more concerned about their own life. So they might notice, but it's fine. So it's either you people or they will pass their way. So we're not so much a big deal for them, basically. But yes, as our ego is like, oh, they're going to really look at me. And what? Maybe it's going to plant a seed for the future. Who knows? Maybe it's going to trigger that. Is it good? Is it bad? It's just is. But it is yeah, it is the experience of the fear and see that we don't die. We don't fall from the cliff. It's more than a vision than a reality. So challenging this fear. Is it really true? And what is the worst that can happen? Okay, I lose all money tomorrow. Okay, I'll find something else. It's and also having this, okay, if they do that, it's for a reason, this level of trust in higher power, if we have. For me, it really helped me.
Yeah. Now you talk about incorporating the psychic power work into what you're doing. Can you explain that a little bit, how you do that?
Yeah, yeah. So I've worked with more than 1,000 people now over 3 years, men, women, all backgrounds. And I've seen that they all have the ability to psychically channel. So what does it mean? Is being able to access information that we have no way of logically access. So for example, tuning into Denise energy and starting to receive information. And it seems like superhero, but when we understand that it is a normality, that we have been always multidimensional beings, and it's just lately, these last few hundred years, that we forgot, then it is like the practice of training your intuition. So you have confirmation, you're like, oh, wow. Because when people arrive in my session and let's say they want to develop their intuition, so I will say, for example, okay, close your eyes, connect inside. What information could you get about me, or what connect with your grandma, or what is the message today? And they're going to receive some information. But of course, they need validation because the mind, the ego will say, no, it's bullshit. It's your imagination. But the basic, or what I've experienced so far, is the basis is everyone is psychic. But this is the mind and the ego that will keep the prison and say, no, no, it's not true, it's not true, it's dangerous, it's Halloween, it's Satanism. No, no, you're just a soul, you're spiritual by essence. And so it's just helping them to see it is safe, they're not crazy, it's very natural. And actually having tools like intuition in their life, receiving visions, or people channel differently, they hear, they have visions, whatever, really helps them to have this sense of well-being and connection with themselves, with others, and with the bigger picture. They don't feel that alone. They don't face uncertainties the same way. And that's especially for business owners. Uncertainty is one of the biggest fears. Am I going to make it? What's going to happen? What's the next move? So having an additional source of information like logic and strategy integrated holistically, I find it very reassuring and very uplifting for people and very healing as well.
Now, where do these messages come from?
That's the $1 million question. It's funny because I talked about Heal the World of Michael Jackson. I have a few clients who channel Michael Jackson, which is funny. So lots of different. So again, with the assumption that we have a body and a spirit. When we incarnate, when we leave our human earth, we are just in a theater play. And then we go back when we die or transform or pass, whatever the word you want to use. We go back to backstage. And so backstage, you have your grandma, you have your ancestors, you have higher being that you want to call Jesus, Buddha. You can call anyone. You can connect to anyone because everyone is energy, is consciousness. And a question that I often have is, yeah, but if my grandma reincarnated, can I contact her? If she, yes, because consciousness is not linear. It's like it is accessible, but we also have to be humble and admit that we will never know everything. And unless we die and we come back, we can have some idea. I feel like it's your grandma. I got this information. Does it resonate? Yeah, okay, cool, keep going. And people feel this resonance. So that's what I call your inner truth is, oh, it resonates. And that's the most important.
Okay, so a lot of times when people are doing self-development and are doing therapy and they work at it for years, and a lot of times I've seen, like I've experienced this myself, is that you feel stuck. And how do you help people that are feeling stuck?
Yes. So I've had this same challenge. And of course, as a human being, we will always have challenges. It's again, that's why I'm talking about having the tools, the right tools for us. Everyone is different. That's why some people might be more resonating with meditation, with Reiki or whatever. But I saw that talking therapy had a limit. And going back to the body, going back to energy, it is true that trauma is stored in the body as energy. So talking about it, okay, but sometimes it's not enough to move energy. So that's why I saw that having the talks part. So it's like the parts. When I talk about parts, it's the conscious parts that lives within us. So you might have a part as Denise who wants to save the world, and the part who wants to retrieve in the garden, leave me alone. I want to be in my cave. So there's lots of competing parts, and that's why sometimes we are a bit of a mess, beautiful human mess. So being able to access the messages help us to untangle emotionally and energetically. And again, to receive messages that brings us into alignment, that it is energetic alignment, emotional alignment, and therefore physical alignment. And so that's why for me, when I had traumas, let's say anxiety and depression, with that I tried to walk through therapy, it was just rehearsing the same scenario. And you're like, this is madness. It's like you giving me you show me the cake, but I can't eat it. So it's like to be how do we make this energetic shift? Because awareness of this, but then energetic shift. And so that's where I feel intuition work and energetic work are really important because even when people feel stuck, when they're able to access this messaging and to let go energetically, they don't feel stuck anymore. Feeling stuck is just an unbalanced energy or a message which wants to come through, basically. Well, that's what I've seen through my experience.
And it's funny too, because in the last little while here, I've gone through a lot of trouble with my business and a lot of confusion, a lot of I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. So last week, I actually stepped away from it. I was almost to the point, okay, like I've had enough here. And I took some time off, and it's amazing how things come to you. Like n
Exactly.
now I don't know, because I used to do conferences and I've created this community group. And I love meeting people. I love meeting you, and I love doing my podcast, and I love introducing people to the world and sharing what they know. And so then I'm like, okay, why don't I do this and have speakers? And why don't I do this and do this? And in those few days that I took off, I became so much more clear, so much happier with what I'm doing. And it's amazing how instead of that corporate pushing forward and just burning yourself out in a short period of time, that taking that step back and letting yourself breathe and have the ideas come to you. It's just so powerful. I just loved it.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it okay if I tune in psychically and give you a few messages for your business?
Sure.
Yeah. So what I see is, and the business, the person is all related. You, by accepting this part, this energetic part of you, you're going to attract the people that really resonate with you. And you have this beautiful energetic element of like the shaman, the poetress. So you have this very specific energy. And what I feel is this journey to corporate. You are really good, but again, it's like how to fit in this journey of acceptance externally, but also acceptance internally. And that's why sometimes, and as she was a bird, that's why these challenges of forcing you to stop is to show you that, Denise, you are at your most powerful when you are in stillness, when you are in this creative flow. And this is what I was talking about with the synchronicity, the support, the abundance that comes naturally. And before you were in pushing energetic, forcing, and like creating an energetic wall, and also feeling like rejecting people who were not in alignment. But now you're opening it's more the little frog behind you. It's like receiving. So it is more this flow and showing, seeing that there is the message I get is, and I was talking, there was a talk grandma, but that's also what comes through for you. The strength, like softness is a strength. And the more you are in your softness, the more you are in you are you. So yes, boundaries are needed, but it is like this. It is this heart opening transition where you do this business on your terms, and you will attract the people and the situation and the talk that really resonate with you instead of fitting a social media corporate model. So this is this journey of authenticity, which is beautiful, and you saw it authentic. And then once, and the last one thing, because I want to let you talk, it helps to release lots of grief and sadness. But the message I have for you as well is you haven't lost time. It is like you're going deeper and deeper, and there is so much wisdom and depth you have, and people feel it energetically even without knowing you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, Aude, we're going to be wrapping this up. So, what are your final words of wisdom to the audience today?
I don't know if it's wisdom, but just saying that we are all a channel. We are all making a positive impact, that it is just giving a smile to someone in the street. There is no minimal impact. And it's true when we look at the world, when we look at finance, it looks too big for us. But there is this element of when we surrender, like you did, we receive and make it as a test. They can make a test and set their intention and see what kind of messages they will receive through a friend, through social media post, and just be curious. Go through the rabbit hole. Their life is going to become such an amazing adventure.
Yeah, it sounds and it's so hard sometimes to let go and let yourself go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's hard, but it's worth it.
It
Yeah.
is. Well, thank you so much for your time today. I
Thank you.
really enjoyed this session, and I'm leaving you all a gentle reminder to slow down and enjoy life, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening today. If this episode gave you something, there's more waiting for you inside the Relaxation Lounge. The tools, the community, the support, all in one place. Come and exhale with us. The link is in the show notes, or you can go to www.therelaxationlounge.info, and we'll see you in the lounge.